Hello, I'm Laura VanArendonk Baugh. Let's talk about the Shitennou. So if you are a typical anime fan, when you hear the word Shitennou, the first thing you think of might be Sailor Moon. But like many things in Sailor Moon, like most things in Sailor Moon, it's not original to Sailor Moon, not even close. So we're going to talk about the cultural background of the Shitennou, what they actually are, where they came from. So in this image from the Met, you can see these statuettes from India, and these figures on the outside here, those are going to become our Shitennou. So this, in Buddhism, the Shitennou are guardians, they're protectors. They actually predate Buddhism. Originally, they were protectors of the four directions, and they served Lord Indra. And Indra also got incorporated into Buddhism. So everything kind of got brought over and given very similar roles. And so in the sutras, these figures actually appear as guardians and protectors, as I said, vowing to protect the faithful, adherents to Buddhism. And they are also credited with helping to protect the Buddha as he was originally escaping from his palace and all sorts of things. So in Japan, this role means that they are primarily depicted as temple guardians. That's not going to be the case across all Asia. There's a lot of variation, and I'm not going to pretend that we're covering all of that today. I'm just, this is a very brief overview. So in Japan, you will typically see these mostly as temple guardians. And we're going to talk just a little bit about how they are usually depicted. Again, in Japanese depictions, they will be armored, they will be carrying weapons. Sometimes those weapons are associated with particular individuals, but in Japan it's pretty fluid. They will have fierce expressions. They will be trampling these evil spirits, or sometimes called demons. Those are jaki. They will have halos of fire in some depictions, not always. In Japan, if you're familiar with the Shishin, the four guardians, and that would be the black beast, the white tiger, the red bird, and the blue or green dragon. And these four generals, the Lokapala, got a little bit blended with those Shishin. And so you'll see some of those characteristics of color and element and season and that sort of thing will carry over into what become the Shitennou as well. In Japan, that is a little more likely. So these are some 13th century statues. I just really like pulling out the old art to illustrate this here. Those jaki, the evil spirits that are being stepped on, in Japan, there's a tradition that these were redeemed or converted by being conquered by the Shitennou. And so now we have two of them who carry lanterns of heavenly light, and that is the Ryutoki and Tentoki, as you see here. And so the Shitennou probably made their way into Japan by the 6th century. The earliest records we have of, official acknowledgement, I'm not sure quite how to say that, but there was a temple built to honor them. So that is the Shitennou-ji, the Shitennou Temple. And that was built in the 6th century. Allegedly, when Shotoku Taishi, who was the first royal to really accept and get behind Buddhism, a royal patron, that's the word I'm looking for, of Buddhism, and he petitioned the Shitennou for assistance to defeat a rival who was opposed to Buddhism. And so in gratitude for winning that battle, he built the Shitennou-ji. The problem is that record comes 200 years after the actual building of the temple, and there's some indication, I certainly can't say for sure, that perhaps it actually started as a Shinto shrine instead of as a Buddhist temple to the Shitennou. I don't know. I'm just telling you, definitely within a couple of hundred years, they were established enough that we were crediting this temple to them. So yeah, that's where we are. So, but they definitely have a long and very well established presence in Japan. So let's walk through incredibly quickly the four Shitennou. And again, you'll see some characteristics brought into the Japanese representations because of the blending with the shishin and other cultural elements. So Jikokuten was kind of, it's transliterated the right word from in pre-Buddhist Durdarashtra, and so that became Jikokuten in modern Japanese depictions. Zochoten was Virudraka, and has certain elements associated there. Komokoten was Virupaksha, and so we also have, and again, these elements and associations that are listed here are not pan-Asiatic by any means. Like, you will definitely see variations here. And Tamoten is the only one that really got traction in Japan for being an object of worship himself. And that was Vaishravana. So you might remember, had a very brief appearance in the Sayuki, or the Journey to the West legend. And then became known as Bishamonten and got incorporated as one of these 7 lucky gods, if you're familiar with that. So what this means is, like many things, we started as something fierce and scary to be respected and admired at a distance. And then as time passed, we got incorporated into the 7 lucky gods, and you can see there in the upper right of this image, just a little softer around the edges. It's starting to relax a little. And then the 20th century happened, and we got a little softer, a little more relaxed, and finally we reached chibi stage, which is the final evolution of all things. And but you can see, even in this chibification, we still have the basic characteristics. There's still the fiery halo, there's still the weapons, there's still the armor. Those are kind of fierce eyebrows for chibi. That's where we are. So, okay. And so, yeah, that is where the Shitennou came from, and what they are doing here. They're more than just some species in Sailor Moon. And yeah, so thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something, and I will see you in another video.